At some point in almost every video on this channel, I recommend engaging a registered tax agent, and the most common follow-up question I receive is a reasonable one. How do I actually find a good one? Not all tax agents are equal when it comes to cryptocurrency. The tax treatment of crypto in Australia is specific, complex, and has been evolving rapidly. A general tax agent who handles straightforward individual returns may not have the depth of knowledge to navigate staking income, DeFi positions, multiple exchange cost bases, investor versus trader classification, or the implications of the 2026 budget changes. Getting this wrong, either because you engaged someone without the right expertise or because you did not ask the right questions before engaging them, can cost you significantly more than the fee you paid for advice that turned out to be inadequate. Today, I am going to walk you through exactly what credentials to look for, the questions to ask before you engage anyone, the red flags that should give you pause, what typical fee ranges look like, and what to prepare before your first meeting. Let's get into it. The first thing to understand is what the baseline professional requirement actually is. In Australia, anyone who provides tax advice for a fee must be registered with the Tax Practitioners Board. This registration is mandatory, verifiable, and the minimum standard you should accept. Before engaging any tax agent, verify their TPB registration at tpb.gov.au. This takes approximately 60 seconds and confirms the person is legally permitted to provide tax advice. Beyond the TPB baseline, the credentials that signal genuine crypto tax expertise include the following: CPA Australia or Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand membership. These designations require formal accounting qualifications, ongoing professional development, and adherence to a professional code of conduct. They are not guarantees of crypto expertise, but they signal professional discipline and accountability. Demonstrated crypto-specific experience. This is more important than any formal designation for this specific area. Ask directly how many crypto tax clients they handle annually, how long they have been working with crypto-specific tax matters, and whether they have dealt with situations similar to yours. Familiarity with current ATO guidance. The ATO has published detailed guidance on crypto asset investments, the treatment of staking, DeFi, NFTs, and the specific CGT and income treatment of different crypto activities. An agent who is genuinely current should be able to reference this guidance without hesitation. The TPB registration is verifiable in 60 seconds. The crypto-specific expertise requires you to ask the right questions, which brings us to the next section. These 5 questions should be asked before you engage a tax agent, not during your first paid meeting. Most agents will answer these in a brief initial conversation or by email, and the answers will tell you a significant amount about whether they are the right fit. Question 1. How many crypto tax clients do you currently work with? A general tax agent who handles 3 or 4 crypto clients a year is in a fundamentally different position from one who handles 30 or 40. Volume builds genuine expertise. The more crypto-specific situations an agent has encountered, the more likely they are to handle the nuances of your situation correctly. Question 2. Have you dealt with these specific situations? Be specific about what you need. If you have DeFi activity, ask directly whether they have dealt with DeFi tax treatment. If you have mining income, ask about their experience with hobby versus business classification. If you have used overseas exchanges, ask whether they are familiar with CRS reporting and overseas exchange declaration obligations. The answer should be confident and specific, not vague. Question 3. What software or tools do you use for crypto tax calculation? An agent who handles crypto tax returns professionally will have a clear, systematic process for handling transaction data. They should be familiar with crypto tax tools, whether they use Coinly, CoinLedger, Crypto Tax Calculator, or another platform. An agent who expects you to hand calculate your gains across hundreds of transactions or who has no established process for this has not invested in genuine crypto tax capability. Question 4. How do you approach the investor versus trader question for clients? This question tests whether they understand one of the most consequential classification questions in crypto tax. Their answer should demonstrate a clear understanding of the ATO's multi-factor test and a willingness to apply it to your specific circumstances, rather than defaulting to one classification for all clients without analysis. Question 5. How are you approaching the 2026 budget CGT changes for clients with significant holdings? This question tests currency of knowledge. Any agent actively working in crypto tax in 2026 should have a clear view on the transitional rules, the implications of the 30% minimum tax floor, and the July 1, 2027 deadline for clients with meaningful unrealized gains. A vague or uncertain answer is a signal. Beyond the questions, there are specific behaviors and patterns that should give you pause before engaging a tax agent for crypto work. Red flag 1. No TPB registration. This is the absolute baseline. If a person cannot provide their TPB registration number for verification, they are not legally permitted to provide tax advice for a fee. Do not engage them regardless of what they tell you about their experience. Red flag 2. They tell you crypto-to-crypto swaps are not taxable. This is a fundamental and documented point of Australian crypto tax law. An agent who tells you swaps are not taxable events does not have a sufficient understanding of the ATO's position on crypto. This misunderstanding in a tax return has real compliance consequences. Red flag 3. They dismiss the importance of your transaction history. A competent crypto tax agent understands that complete and accurate transaction records are the foundation of every correct crypto tax return. An agent who suggests you can estimate your position, or who does not ask to see your complete transaction history, is not approaching this with the rigor the ATO requires. Red flag 4. They guarantee outcomes. No registered tax agent should guarantee specific tax outcomes or promise to minimize your tax to a particular figure. What they can do is apply their expertise to identify every legitimate position available to you. Guarantees in this context are a professional red flag. Red flag 5. They cannot explain their reasoning. A good tax agent should be able to explain, in plain terms, why they are treating a particular item of your return in a particular way. If they cannot explain their reasoning when you ask, or become defensive when questioned, that is a problem. I want to give you an honest and practical picture of what crypto tax preparation fees look like in Australia, because fee expectations that are significantly out of alignment with market rates, in either direction, can lead to poor decisions. For a straightforward individual tax return with modest crypto activity, a handful of exchanges, primarily simple buy and sell transactions, limited staking income, fees from a competent crypto-experienced tax agent typically range from approximately $300 to $600. For a moderately complex return, multiple exchanges, DeFi activity, staking rewards across several protocols, some overseas exchange activity, fees typically range from approximately $600 to $1,500. For a genuinely complex return, high-volume trading, investor versus trader uncertainty, SMSF considerations, overseas exchange activity requiring CRS analysis, or prior year amendment work, fees of $1,500 to $3,000 or more are not uncommon from a specialist with genuine depth in this area. 2 important points on fees. First, a lower fee is not inherently better. A $300 return prepared by someone without genuine crypto expertise that understates your tax position by $5,000 is not a bargain. It is a compliance risk with potential penalties and interest attached. Second, the cost of good advice is almost always less than the cost of inadequate advice. This framing is worth keeping front of mind when evaluating fee proposals. Having your Coinly report prepared before your meeting will almost always reduce your preparation time with the agent, and in many cases will reduce your fee because the agent does not need to spend their time reconstructing your transaction history. Walking into your first meeting with a tax agent well prepared has 3 direct benefits. It reduces the time required to understand your situation, it reduces your fee in many cases, and it increases the quality of advice you receive because the agent can spend their time on strategy and accuracy rather than data reconstruction. Here is what to bring or send in advance. Your Coinly report or equivalent tax summary. This should show your complete transaction history, gains and losses, and income summary for the financial year. If you have not yet generated this, now is the time. The affiliate link is in the description, and the free plan gives you everything you need to see your position before your meeting. A list of every exchange and wallet you have used, including platforms you stopped using during the year. Many errors in crypto tax returns come from incomplete exchange coverage, not calculation errors on the transactions that were captured. Your prior year tax returns, particularly relevant if you have crypto activity in prior years that may not have been correctly reported, or if your agent is assessing your overall compliance history. A written list of questions. The meeting will be more productive if you have your questions documented in advance rather than trying to remember them in the moment. A summary of anything you are uncertain about. If you are unsure how you should have treated a particular transaction, a DeFi interaction, an airdrop, a mining reward, note it down and raise it specifically. These are the situations most likely to be handled differently by different agents, and getting explicit agreement on the treatment is important. A brief practical note on where to actually find tax agents with genuine crypto expertise. The Tax Practitioners Board register at tpb.gov.au allows you to search for registered tax agents by location and verify registrations. This confirms the baseline but does not filter for crypto expertise. Referrals from other crypto investors in your network remain one of the most reliable indicators of genuine expertise. A recommendation from someone whose situation is similar to yours, who received quality advice, carries significant weight. Online communities, including Australian crypto forums and subreddits, regularly discuss and recommend specific agents, and patterns across multiple independent recommendations are meaningful. Coinly maintains a directory of accountants with demonstrated familiarity with their platform and crypto tax matters more broadly. Accessible through their website. The affiliate link is in the description. Whatever source you use to identify candidates, apply the questions and red flag assessment from this video before engaging. The source of a referral is a starting point, not a substitute for your own due diligence. Choosing the right crypto tax agent is one of the most consequential decisions you will make in managing your crypto tax position. The wrong choice, either because of missing credentials, missing expertise, or missing questions, has real financial and compliance consequences. The framework in this video, TPB registration verification, 5 specific pre-engagement questions, 5 specific red flags, realistic fee expectations, and proper meeting preparation, gives you everything you need to make this decision with confidence. If this video was useful, please subscribe and share it with any Australian crypto investor who is looking for tax advice. And if you have a specific question about finding the right agent for your situation, drop it in the comments below. I read everyone. Stay cashed up.